good morning, everyone, and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. Whoa! Isn't it a gorgeous day here today? So we are so excited to have you here with us and to be back together again in person. This is such a, I don't know, I just get so jazzed every time we're together. Every time we get together in this consciousness and be around each other. So we're going to kick it off this morning. Melissa, we actually have our vocalist here today, so Melissa's here. All right, so let's get going here.
Now when I walk into this room and I look into your eyes, well, somehow I am not surprised. It's like I've known you all of my life. The sweetest place I've ever known, a place to rest and know I'm not alone. With all these years out on my own, well, I finally found I'm home. Justin, everyone. When you hold me in your arms with no malice and no harm, and all our hearts are open wide, there's no reason to want or hide. The sweetest place I've ever known, a place to rest and know I'm not alone. With all these years out on my own, well, I finally found I'm home. Now when I look out on this crowd and all that I can see, it's all I've ever dreamed. Looking back at me, I've ever known. A place to rest and know I'm not alone. With all these years out on my own, well, I finally found, yes, I finally found I'm home. I'm home.
How beautiful. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Justin. What a great rendition of that song. Okay. I'm just so glad we have Joe who knows how to make it all work right. Get that thing adjusted. There we go. So this month, for the month of November, we are looking at the idea of home as we explore living everyday wonder. And so when I was thinking about the talks that I was going to do this month, it kept coming to me that I wanted to know and experience somebody who has more knowledge about our home here in Las Vegas than pretty much anybody I know. We are so blessed to have in our midst the Director of Oral History for the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and so as one of our practitioners. And so I asked Claytee if she would be willing to do the message today to kick us off on talking about our home here. You know, we have this beautiful home that we are creating here. We have this home that many of us have been here 50 plus years. Okay, and so we are just really excited about all that. And since I'm so excited, sometimes I get things out of order. So we're going to start off with, I'd like to invite our practitioner of the day, Karen Dunphy, up to do our invocation.
I forgot the viewers, so I take responsibility.
So nothing is out of order. And the affirmation is, I am the hero of my journey. So I invite you to repeat that with me. I am
the hero of my journey.
Doesn't that give you a little spine tingle? Yes. It is. I am the hero. Each and every one of us is the hero of our journey. So as we go within to the home within, that secret place that we call home on the inside, where all is well, it's never been hurt or damaged, and it never will. I bless this day. I bless this group. I bless this area and this land. And we are so lucky today to be able to get a better picture of what this area and what we are all about by going inward and receiving a really divine message. And I'm so excited. And there's nothing more I need to say except to put your heels together, click your heels, and say, there's no place like home. And so it is.
So it is. All right. Thank you. There is no place like home, and this home that we are creating is amazing. And the thing that is most amazing about it is the home that we are creating is sitting before me. It's not behind me. It's what's before me. And so without any further ado, I'm going to invite up wonderful Claytee White for our message.
So I'm the shortest person so far, so let's see how this is going to work.
Claytee, you're up.
Oh, I don't. Oh, right. Oh. That was a great start. Okay. So first, I want to thank everybody for this morning. Justin, Joe, Roxy, Karen, Melissa, Reverend Laura, thank you so much for inviting me to do this. I really, really appreciate the opportunity. Now, the way I deliver is different from the way people in church deliver a sermon. So you'll have to just bear with me. I'm a historian. I'm going to look down at my notes more often than most people do, and it's okay. It is okay, so just bear with me. So today's topic is there is no place like home. And when I think there is no place like home, I feel safe. I feel calm. I feel as if I'm wrapped up in this special, powerful healing force. I grew up in poverty, in a place that was not enough. My family was large. I had 7 brothers and sisters, mother and father. My mom could make any food taste good. No matter how little, it didn't make any difference. It was delicious. I remember a certain feeling sitting around in the kitchen at the time of the year when it's time to can fruits and vegetables. Well, we used to peel the apples. My brothers and I would sit around and peel the apples as my mother was getting ready to can them. It was cozy. The kitchen was warm. The aroma was heavenly. And there was no thought of not enough. The sacred transcended the physical for us. I knew that there was something greater in the universe, that angry God that our ministers in the area talked about in our Baptist churches, I knew that it had to be more than this. So as soon as I finished high school, I left the church. For many, many years, I had no spiritual home. And almost 2 decades later, I found my way to a place called the City of Angels Center for the Religious Science, I think it was called. City of Angels, yes, Church of Religious Science. I was home. It was cozy. It was just like being back in the kitchen. I knew from the very first day, because they told us about the omnis, I knew from that first sermon that God was everywhere present. It was all-knowing and all-powerful. I was home. It was just amazing. Eventually, I landed in Las Vegas and became serious about my study of American history and the local history of this city. So now it is my passion to take that history and marry it with this philosophy that I'm learning here. Yes, I'm still learning every day. So I'm learning more about love and abundance and plenty and freedom and justice. And I'm marrying that with the history of this place. History is never easy. Most of the times it is not pleasant. It is not pretty. Seldom is it pretty. While I know that there is no place like this magical city, though, my cup overflows here. It is where I am home. I have chosen this as my home. My faith grows every day because of the relationships, the friendships, my work, my business ventures, and all of the unexpected good that comes into my life, and it just keeps on coming. I go beyond having faith. I go to certainty. I go to this assurance. I am assured that the Creator is my home where I can nestle in the light, in the flow, in the abundance, and in the elegance of it all. And I can do it without even moving. I know I can be anywhere, and that place can be special. I have chosen Las Vegas. But isn't this place also called the Mississippi of the West? Yes, it is. and still, I think it's sacred. Center for Spiritual Living Greater Las Vegas is one of the places that allows me to feel that presence like I did back in the kitchen in North Carolina. I feel it in the parks here. I feel it throughout the city. I feel the infinite spirit when I stop and breathe in. I feel it when my joy bubbles up and flows over. But it is my practice of praying, of reading, of taking classes, of journaling that allows this spirit to embrace me. Sometimes, though, I get weary. I know that we are walking this path of oneness. I know we are. And yet, sometimes I see in my historical research and in my daily newspaper that our teachings don't seem to be working. Our teaching tells us to love our neighbors as ourselves. We're in a movement of oneness. We are the leaders of this movement. Are we leading? Are we the centers for spiritual living, members, supporters that are leading? Who are we allowing to lead? Who are we allowing to speak for us? We believe in oneness. We believe in joy and love and a spiritual essence that is everywhere present. But can we really, really say that we believe that all Muslims and Jews and Arabs and blacks from all corners of the planet, Hispanics, Latinx from all the countries that they come here from, can we really say that they are brothers and sisters? Do we honestly believe without judgment that we are brothers? A few months ago, I was at an event over at Legacy Park. You have to go over with me sometimes. Legacy Park is this new place in the African American community. It's on the west side. It's across the tracks. So it is the place where African Americans had to live from about 1930 till about the end of the 1960s. It is the place in this city that we were allowed to live. That morning, sitting there in Legacy Park with all these people sitting around me who looked just like me, I almost came to tears because I was home. That's how I felt sitting in Legacy Park. One of the plaques in that park, this is a park that honors contributions made by African Americans in Las Vegas. One of the plaques belonged to a man named Charles Keller. Charles Keller was the first African American attorney in Las Vegas. Came here in 1959. Sent here by Thurgood Marshall from the NAACP when the headquarters were in New York. Nevada was one of the states in the Union that did not have any black attorneys as late as 1959. So Marshall asked his friend, Charles Keller, to come to Las Vegas. So he sold all of his real estate holdings in New York, had been a civil rights attorney there for a very, very long time. Came here, went into a bank to make a deposit of a very large cashier's check, and he had to wait for a few minutes. And as he was waiting, the police came in. And the police told him that no black man, and I'm sure they did not say black man, no black man should have that kind of money. So Charles Keller laughed. And he took that laughter, allowed it to rise up within him, and he began his work for this city. He crafted the 1971 consent decree that mandated jobs for blacks in the gaming industry in the front of the house, not just those jobs in the back of the house. He worked for welfare rights reform. He worked for integration of public schools. He made Las Vegas home a livable home for many, many people of color. Now, why do I tell that story now? Why do I continue to go back in history and tell those stories? Because just in February of this year, Morgan Chase, J.P. Morgan, refused in Texas, one of the branches in Texas, refused to cash a check for a woman who had just become an African American doctor. She got a signing bonus of $16,000 from her new employer, and they said the check had to be bogus. So she is now suing J.P. Morgan Chase. So it still happens. This is just not what happened in 1959. It still happens today. I could give you many, many, many examples. So when I say sometimes I grow tired, but I've decided that I'm not going to be tired. I'm just not going to be tired. I am going to allow the anger and the bitterness just drain from me. Whenever I feel it bubbling up, I allow it to drain now. By telling stories like this and hundreds more like this, I want to continue, and I want everybody in my audiences to continue to learn more history, more national history, local history, international history. It is imperative that we do so. I'm done witnessing myself and others saying one thing, and as soon as we leave our physical houses and our meditation sessions, we lose the connection. I'm tired of that. I'm not losing the connection anymore. I am not losing the connection with that mother, father, creator. I'm drained of all excuses. Beginning today, I will tell more stories. And then I will have you remember who we are. We are the children, the adults of an almighty, all-powerful spirit. Our state song is Home Means Nevada. It speaks about the physical beauty of this state, the hills, the mountains, the trails, the wind blowing free. Talks about freedom, and that is the freedom of our true home. That's what our true home allows. There's no place like home. Two young women, Winona and Petra, took a gap year between high school and college, and they went across the United States interviewing people about race and gender in America. They produced a book called Tell Me Who You Are. It's been out for a little less than a year now. At one point, they were exhausted. They had been called names. They had been threatened in small towns all across America. Their parents wanted them to come home, to be safe. They wanted to shower them with love after all the stories and all the hate. The truth was, the young women said, we really wanted to go home. We felt grateful for all the stories, yet our bodies felt weighed down, not only physically, but emotionally. We felt utterly exhausted. On just our fourth day out of a year, we interviewed a Japanese internment camp survivor, then a college student who had lost her entire neighborhood to gentrification, lost her home, then a man whose father had been wrongfully incarcerated. All those stories were right in a row. We wanted to go home, but we learned the art of self-care, taking care of ourselves and healing ourselves as we went. We began to journal. We began to listen to powerful music, probably like Melissa's music. They went home to Christ within. And they said, and we talked to this black woman in Vermont who said, I hate talking about race. I'm tired of it, but we have to do it. Tapping out of racism, out of this work, is not a privilege for people of color. Not now, not anyways. She just wanted to go home. The young women wanted to go home. But the work is important. So we learn to go home within. I thank you for listening. Let us pray. The Holy Spirit is omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. I am one with this presence. And as I know this for myself, I know it for all in this audience now and forevermore. I speak my word for the truth of our homegoing, not just the end of life, but every day, several times a day. We can go home within. So we go to God. We go to the God of our being, the Creator that made us in its image and likeness. We are one with the divine abundance, the joy and the freedom and the love that is everlasting. We are one with grace, that grace that is our sufficiency in all things. We are the divine personified. We go home within to that presence that cradle us right now. I am so grateful for this truth, and I release it into the law of the universe. It is done. The almighty oneness takes me home, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you. Thank you so much, Claytee. As she was speaking, a thought hit me that we are all part of this collective here. We are all part of this this community that we call Center for Spiritual Living. This home that we have here. But this being part of it is not without obligation, and the obligation is important, and that we show up and that we be who we are here. But even more than that is, in community together, we evolve. This is how we change our lives, and it's when we are with each other. As Claytee said, these girls could have gone home, but they would not evolve, nor would the society around them evolve. And so it is when we come together in community and that we become members of an organization like this, that we are actually participating in the evolution of our consciousness. And so it's so important that we do that we join, that we become part of something greater than what we are individually. And so, and as I said at the beginning, that there's an obligation that goes along with that, and that obligation is that we support it. We support it through a time that we give to our community. So the people that are here helping us in service today, thank you. Thank you, each one of you that's been here. We support it by showing up for services like this and for the different programs. I understand we had a great dinner last Tuesday night, too. I was sorry I was missing that, but great time to get together. I was about 20 people, Justin? Yeah, so it's wonderful. So when you see these things come out on our news blast and e-blast and so forth, please think about considering coming to it and joining in with some of these different events that we have. We'll be having more as the holiday season continues, and I'm thinking about a New Year's morning thing right now, so we can do some kind of a intention setting, blessing, releasing the old year kind of thing. So we'll get that going. So anyway, so right now we're going to do a little bit of our obligation. We're going to share our tithes and offerings, and so I'm going to ask Evelyn and Madge to assist us with that. Thank you so much for being in service today. Melissa coming up. And we're going to invite Melissa up to sing.
All right. Yep. Let's do this. All one. If you haven't done your aerobics yet, you can get up and dance. Thank you. Something great is happening. Love has taken hold and it won't let go of us now. Something here is calling us forward. Ocean drops in one ocean.
Yeah.
Hold on. Will you rise up with me today? Lift up your voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the moment for our greatest. Let's stand together now. Right now. Ooh, ooh. Every day's a chance you can do something amazing to feel the passion flaming inside. Paint with every vision, dance in new directions, explode to new heights in your mind. I will rise up with you today. Lift up my voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the moment for our greatest. Let's stand together now. You're standing. Okay, now you get to sing with me. I'll say the word and you repeat it back, okay? We're gonna do this together. Here we go. One dream, one voice, one heart, one world, one dream, one voice, one heart, one world, one dream, one voice, one heart, one world. Thank you. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Stand together. Give the gift to the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the moment for our greatest. Let's stand together. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the moment for our greatest. Let's stand together now.
Now, not that short. Although it gets more and more every day. Oh, well, you know what? I just am really called to do our traditional closing benediction. So if you would, stand up.
You want to do announcements first?
I think I'm pretty well covered the announcements.
Oh, okay.
Interfaith Forum tonight. Oh, yes, it's at the Temple, Congregation Temple. So it's 6... Valley Verde and the 215. The announcements are over there. It's actually I'm planning on being there. It's talking about when does our religion think a fetus is a fetus? A fetus is a life. So when does our religion think the fetus is a life? So 215 in Valley Verde. Yes, it's the temple there, the congregational temple. Anyway, so hope to see you there with us. Okay, if you would repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my heart.
Life is in my heart.
Life is in all that I do.
Life is in all that I do.
I am it.
I am it.
I share it.
I share it.
And I live from that place. Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Have a great day, everyone.